Hi everyone, my name is Kara Sherpa and I was an SOS participant for 8 years. And this summer I'm happy to be interning at SOS Outreach as their alumni relations intern. We're so excited to be here with Dave Portman. Dave, can you please introduce yourself and tell us how you're involved with SOS?
Yeah, so as Kara said, my name's Dave Portman. I've been with First Bank, which is a local Colorado-owned bank, for about 19 years now. And I got introduced to SOS back in 2008 with the merger of Meet the Wilderness, another youth outdoor education program. And I've been on the board most of that, the last 12 years, serving various roles, including treasurer and executive committee member, and humbled to be able to support the organization.
The first question that we have for you is, how did you navigate high school and the uncertainty of what to do after?
Well, so I grew up in suburban Chicago, and really throughout my childhood, through high school, navigating that education process and next steps after high school, it really wasn't a decision. It wasn't an if college was in my future. It was happening, and it was where we were going. That was kind of my parents' mentality. So, once I got into that sophomore, junior year, it really was just a planning process on what the right fit from post-high school education was. So, I ended up settling in at University of Illinois, which was our state school. I was very kind of math and science oriented. And so, at 17, 18 years old, you certainly don't know, most of us, what we want to do for a career, but I knew that was an interest. And so I started down the path of accounting in the business school at Illinois. And it ended up being really my first job. So junior year of college, I interned at what was at that point one of the big five public accounting firms, Coopers and Lybrand, and then studied and passed the CPA exam my senior year, and then started with PricewaterhouseCoopers in Chicago, right out of college. So it really became kind of a pretty defined path for me, as I thought about next steps through those college years.
The second question that we have is, what tools in life do you use every day to ensure success?
Well, so I guess just to expand, so after I really was in the accounting field for a year and then found my way out in Colorado, and really after a couple of years of just exploring different things in the outdoors, I ended up in the banking field in my current role about 19 years ago. And our business has changed a lot from an analytics business to a people business, over that 19-year period. So I really do think if I had to narrow it down to a few things, problem solving is always at the forefront of my mind, and I think universal in whatever career field you're in. Interpersonal skills in connecting with humans on a human level. Even in banking, our consumer and business customers, they connect with people. They don't connect with institutions or products or even pricing for that matter, although that's part of it. But that human connection and learning how to relate to people and, cater your professional relationships around those I think are the most important skills. And I think hard work, I think figuring out how to, multitask isn't the right word, but balance different responsibilities, because doing 15 things at the same time isn't efficient, but figuring out how to time manage is essential. And really knowing when to stop working, I think, is that work-life balance piece. I mean, you learn more and more as you advance in your career that working 100 hours a week isn't usually the most productive use of your time. And we figure out that balance. So I'd say problem solving, interpersonal skills, time management, and getting the most out of your teams.
Since we talked a little bit about navigating your career after college, can you go a little bit more in depth about that?
Yeah, it was, for me, it was a simple career path. I mean, I've been with 4 different companies in my 22 or 23 year working career. And so Chicago was in the accounting field. And then I moved out to Steamboat Springs in 99, 2000. And my passion was the outdoors and skiing. And so I taught skiing for a year up in Steamboat, and then found my way to the Vail Valley in 2000 and worked in the bookkeeping space part-time. My goal was to be on the mountain as much as possible, as long as I could pull it off. So so I did that. And then, interestingly enough, my wife and I bought our first house in almost 20 years ago now. And we did our loan through First Bank. And that's how I heard about this career opportunity and learned about what the role entailed and, growth opportunities. And, it really parlayed my interest in career development and allowed me to stay in the mountain lifestyle that was so important to me. And so, I started there. First Bank is a company, when you talk about just navigating career, we're 100% a promote from within organization. So I started on a management training career path and went through a 6-month program and then advanced internally through the company through a number of different roles. And so it's a relatively basic career path, but so many things I value about that promote from within culture, which I think is relatively unique for our organization.
Just as a follow-up question, since a lot of our participants are just starting out, and since you are in the accounting and banking industry, is there any money advice that you can impart?
Oh man, I could probably talk about that for hours, but save. I mean, it's just so cliche, but that time value of money is just so powerful. And so if you get your first job and it's $20 a paycheck that you can sock it away. It really is powerful. 401k and retirement tools, if they're available through whatever career opportunities individuals pursue, I think are so valuable. Budgeting, I'm probably on the anal side, but when we were figuring out our path, me and my wife, we budgeted and we knew what we could afford, and we really had to make tough decisions on what we were going to spend our dollars on. But all that stuff, I think, just sets us up, as individuals and families, just so much easier for the future. And I'm always cautious to promote home ownership, but I still really do think there's a lot of, it's right for many people and it's not right for some. And I think that's an important decision to really explore internally and talk to folks like me at a bank or parents or, confidants and just explore those decisions.
And the very last question that we have for you is, as the market president of First Bank, what personal approaches have you applied as you lead the conversation about tackling diversity, equity, and inclusion?
I think this is just probably the most important concept for me today in my career and for anybody starting their career right now. And number one, I'm the president of my market, but I think fostering a culture where all 30 of us on our team feels like our opinion and our thoughts and ideas we bring to the table are as important, whether we're the newest employee or the highest ranking by corporate hierarchy, I think is essential. And in my space, we have a couple of unique things. Our staff is more than 50% female and more than 50% Hispanic. And so, I think organically we have a relatively, when you think about the just general definition of diversity, we have a very diverse team. And then you look at our communities and it models that. Our communities here in the Roaring Fork Valley are 40% Hispanic and over 50% female. So, and we have that diversity throughout the different levels of management within the group. So in my mind, you represent those diverse groups, but at the end of the day, we all come from different places. We all have different backgrounds that form our perspectives. And if every opinion and every thought is valued the same, I think the greater good is way stronger than any individual perspective. So
thank you so much for coming and interviewing with us today, Dave. Really appreciated all the money advice that we got and just the career path that you've gone down, especially in the accounting and banking industry. Thank you so much for taking the time out.
My pleasure. And can I add just one thing as a SOS board member or just business person, is all of us in our careers have leaned on other people for guidance and advice, and we've had resources. And so I think number one, don't be afraid to ask. People are generally willing to help. And number two, I would just offer that from my perspective, that I'm available as a resource for anybody coming through the SOS program and graduating. I'm just so impressed with the program offers and the character of the youth that I've met that have come through the program. So just wanted to throw that out on the table.
We look forward to your involvement as we move forward with alumni re-engagement into SOS outreach.
Thanks, Cara. I appreciate it.
Thank you.